to the final episode of Series 4 of Harp at Home on the Road. And welcome, my name is Rachel here, and if you've been looking at these workshops before, you'll realise this is not the normal fireplace. Yes, I'm not actually at home, I'm truly on the road today. I'm actually at my folks' house in Stirling, where I've been teaching for the weekend on Zoom to the Isle of Man. Thought best not to put my neighbours and Adam through 16 Zoom lessons over a couple of days. So my parents have a kind of detached house, so decided to put them through it instead. So welcome to my mum and dad's house in Stirling for this final episode, workshop 8 of series 4, and we've been on the road throughout this whole series thanks to funding from Tasgive. Tasgive is a small arts grant for traditional arts in Scotland, and it's administrated by Fashion and Gale and kind of funded really by Creative Scotland. So I'm so grateful for them to help fund this series of Harp at Home, and it's really made it possible for me to travel around the country to meet people. And we are meeting our final guest today, and I didn't have to go too far, just had to go along the road to Edinburgh to meet Isobel Mieras. Now, Isabel will be familiar to many of you. She is the director, the creative advisor, one of the kind of artistic advisors is the word I'm looking for, of the Edinburgh International Harp Festival. She's the president of the Clarsach Society, and she's really, I kind of always kind of describe her as the grandmother of all harp players in Scotland. She's been around the scene for a very long time, and she's been a huge influence on many of us as teachers, as performers, and people who, I guess, those who are just really passionate about the Scottish harp, and because she has a great passion for the Clarsach and for promoting it and getting people involved in it. So I thought it'd be really interesting to go and visit her and chat to her a little bit about how she started to play the Clarsach, because I guess many people started to play the Clarsach because of her. So I wanted to hear her story, and we also chat a little bit about the Harp Festival. So let's head over now to Edinburgh to speak to Isobel Mieras. To Edinburgh, and our guest today at Harp at Home on the Road, although thankfully it's only been an hour's journey to get to see you, Isobel. This is Isobel Mieras, who I'm sure many of you will be familiar of. You might be familiar with her as she has written many an arrangement. She has lots of books published, and she is also one of the kind of artistic advisors of the Harp Festival. You may have seen her floating around there if you're in person at the festival, or watching us all online as well.
That's true.
Indeed. So I thought I'd come and visit you, Isobel, and just to kind of, we've been meeting lots of people around Scotland, hearing about their connections to the harp or to traditional music and learning about their journey, and I thought it might be really nice to hear about your story, about how you play Clarsach, because we just kind of know you as a teacher and a performer, but it would be lovely to know how you started off yourself.
Well, it was a long time ago when I was just 17. The first person I ever heard was the lovely Mary O'Hara, the Irish singer. And I happened to be at that, it was actually the age of 16 I heard her, when I was in a programme on the Edinburgh International Festival, which was called The Pleasures of Scotland. I was still a schoolgirl. I was so flattered to be asked to be in the chorus, because we had a chorus who sang Scottish songs and draped ourselves elegantly around the stage, did various things. And Mary O'Hara from Ireland, very young lady then, was the guest artist. And it was beautiful to hear. She was lovely to look at. Little ringlets with blue ribbons, and she sang so sweetly and played a lovely wee harp, and I was very impressed. So when I was introduced a year later to Jean Campbell, who was my teacher, I used to sing a lot. I still do sing a lot, but it doesn't sound the same as it used to do. My mother was a singing teacher, and she had pupils. It seemed like day and night when I was young. I would lie in bed and listen, and I could sing operatic arias with no accompaniment, and a lot of Scottish songs, because she always insisted that her pupils, whatever their ambitions were, they had a good repertoire of Scottish songs. And I loved them, and I sang a lot. And she made me go in for competitions, and I was one of those awful children who always won. Everybody hated me. I just did what my mother told me. She said, stand there and sing to the air. Don't take a breath. So I used to sing these long phrases, which is really irrelevant to play the Clarsach. But that's the way my life goes. So I was actually singing at a big ceilidh in Edinburgh. They used to have these huge ones on Fridays and Saturdays, all the different Highland societies.
Oh, brilliant.
And they always had a token Scotch singer, and I was it. And I was singing, and a lady called Florence Wilson was also very famous at one time in the Clarsach world. And she said, your voice would sound so beautiful with the Clarsach. It rang a bell, and she introduced me to Jean Campbell. So I started with Jean and thoroughly enjoyed it, because I had a huge repertoire of songs. I could do the 3-chord trick as well as anybody, and the occasional extra chord. So I very quickly became quite a popular young performer, even appearing on television. Better not go into that story. It was a programme called Top Town, and it was black and white television.
Oh, I remember you telling me about this before. Yes.
But anyway, I thought I'd arrived, and then I kind of, life is very exciting when you're finishing school and moving on. And I thought, well, I've done this. And I stopped and gave the harp back to the lovely Clarsach Society, from whom I hired it, and left it until I'd got married and had 2 children. And my mother then very determinedly came in with a harp one day that she bought. They were hard to get in those days. And this was a Japanese one, which she'd seen in a music shop window. She bought it, she brought it, she said, there you are, she said, take that and get on with it. So I went back to Jean Campbell, and she couldn't have been kinder. She should probably have told me where to go, but she said, no, it's lovely to have you back. And she became not just my teacher, but my friend as well. And we did a lot of concerts together, and I learned so much from her. 2 great women in my life, my mother and Jean Campbell. Terrific.
I mean, that's amazing. So you really had quite a long gap between playing, and did you find it okay to come back? Did you find that you were still singing at that point?
Oh, yes.
When you were coming back? Was that as much as a kind of thing about it, as apart from playing tunes?
Yeah, I took up the harp to accompany, and that almost every concert I ever did all my life was songs with the harp. Scottish songs, a few Gaelic songs with the harp, and that was really my performing life. Teaching, of course, is quite different.
And when did you actually get involved in teaching then? Because if you kind of came back to it later in life, was this something that was quite quick after you started to pick it up? How did you become involved teaching the harp?
Well, I didn't for a long time. I did a lot of performing with Jean, and then the saddest thing in the world was Jean died far too early. And before she died, she made me and another lady called Flo Galbraith, who was also a singer-player, she made us promise to teach.
Wow.
So when people came knocking on my door and asked me to teach, I thought, well, I won't be very good at that. I don't really know enough. But I felt I had to, and I was encouraged by another very strong-minded lady in the Clarsach Society. The Clarsach Society is such an important part of my life too. And this lady, whose name was Isabel Simpson, and she was very small and very bossy. And she looked at me and she said, if you don't teach, even if you pass on a few bad habits with everything else, nobody will learn, because in those days it was hard to get teachers, and it was hard to get a harp, never mind anything else. So I took her advice and learned ever so much from my students. And I've just gone on I made quite a reputation as a teacher, which wasn't meant of a teacher of Clarsach. I've always been a teacher of singing, so it was really transferring the skills that I already had.
And teaching is still a big part of your life just now.
Well, I don't do performances anymore. I've retired. The saddest thing about being a soprano is that your life is limited, and it's good to know when to stop. So I've stopped. So no, I don't do many performances at all. I just teach, and not even as many as I used to do, but I love having the pupils, and even online.
Yes, I know it's been a different world.
It's been a lifeline.
Yeah, it really has, but it's managed to keep us all really together in the past 2 years, because myself and Isabel are both in the Edinburgh International Harp Festival committee together, and I've seen you three. This is my third time I think I've seen you since we couldn't all meet together, but I do see you regularly on Zoom for meetings and things like that, and it has been a real lifeline, and I think the harp world particularly has really embraced the online learning. We've all really have.
All musicians have. They've had to. And it has been wonderful. And for students who can't get out, we've got one or two ladies in the Edinburgh branch of the Clarsach Society whose husbands don't keep well. They have to shield them. And if they hadn't been able to come online to sessions, they just wouldn't have had any harping company at all.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not the best in the world, but wonderful in its way.
And I mean, the harp world's just great company anyway. I always kind of feel like for an instrument where a lot of the time you're a solo player, it can be quite a kind of lonely instrument. Yeah. For a bunch of folk who play this instrument, we are all quite a kind of friendly bunch who like to socialise together.
I am a huge advocate of playing in harp orchestras, if you like. And we have a harp orchestra in Edinburgh, and way back in the 1990s and the early parts of this century, we took this group, the Clarsach they're called, that's Gaelic for the harpers, and we went to America. We toured in America and played at the World Harp Congress in Seattle. And then we were invited to the next congress, which was in Prague, and we went there. And the next one was in Geneva, and we went there, and I'd had enough.
And the Clarsach is part of the Edinburgh branch of the Clarsach Society, and you've been involved in the Clarsach Society for a very long time, and the society celebrated its 90th anniversary last year.
I wasn't there 90
years ago. You've been involved for some of the Clarsach's 90 years. A lot of, yeah.
It was because of Jean Campbell. She got me involved in the Edinburgh branch, and then someone else got me involved in what we call the parent body, as secretary, and then I became convener. Sounds terribly important, but it's not. It's just keeping people, enabling people to play the harp. That's what we do, and we do it successfully in many ways, partly because of our hire system. We've got a huge number of harps, which we hire to members at a very reasonable price, and it just lets people play.
Well, look, you hired yourself. I hired myself from them. So many people who are now enabling other people to learn are able to do because they hired from the Clarsach Society at such a low cost. Because they're not the cheapest of instruments. You can't just pick them up here, there, and everywhere. The Clarsach. So to have an organisation that does that is really, really special. And of course, the Clarsach Society also run the Edinburgh International Harp Festival, which we are in the midst of. We're only, not long to go now until our 41st one.
And live. It's a mixture, yes. Rachel will tell you more about that in a minute. It's a hybrid festival, but to see people back in the flesh again, just be wonderful.
I know. I just can't wait to play with other harp players. I've really only had one experience in the past 2 years when I've been in a room with more than one harpist, just because of where I am in Glasgow, really, and it was quite emotional, just because these instruments, the actual feeling of the music because it's a force that comes from them as well.
Yeah.
And that knowing of people knowing the same music. So I'm really excited to catch up with people. So
it is. It's the listening and responding to each other. The wonderful thing about the harp is you sit beside each other, not too close, but as close as possible. And when your harp starts singing, even if the person next to you hasn't started yet, their harp also starts to sing. And if you've got a lot of harps together, you get a wonderful sound that you can't get from one harp or even two or three, just the overtones.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Quite so, yeah, special.
We did manage to do that at Christmas time in Edinburgh. We got to get together with 33 harps playing, very well spaced, playing our Christmas carols. It was just absolutely, it was so moving to be there. You were communicating through the music and listening, and it sounds awfully soppy, but
no, it is special, and I'm really excited to be able to see everybody again. So we're hybrid, so we're having courses in person and online, but not at the same time, which I think is important, so that everybody's getting the most out of the festival, and our concerts as well, which will be filmed and put out afterwards. So hopefully, if you're not able to be with us in person this year, you'll at least be inspired to maybe come in future years, because I think I'm just so excited to see people and play harp again.
Oh, yes, and we'd love for everybody to come. It's just, I promise you, it's a very welcoming and friendly festival. So be there.
Yeah, indeed. Well, Isabel, thank you so much for having a wee natter, and it's wonderful to hear your story and to hear how it's all kind of entwined in the Clarsach Society as well, which is really an important organisation here. I'll link in, of course, in the PDF for your sheet music and in the YouTube comments with links to the Harp Festival and the Clarsach Society, so you can find out more about them. And yeah, we'll maybe see you, whether in person or virtually, at the start of April for the festival.
Great.
Thank you, Isabel, for giving us a time for that wee chat. She's such a good interviewee, isn't she? Sam, who's been doing a lot of the filming for Harp at Home, like, we came out after the interview and he was just like, she's amazing. She knows how to speak. She just has a good knack of telling a story and information in a humorous way, but just telling you as much as you need to know. But yeah, she's brilliant. She's absolutely fantastic. So thank you so much, Isabel, for taking the time to speak to us. On with our last tune today. Oh, remember actually to tune in to the blether at the end, because we're going to talk more about the Harp Festival. I should have said that to you before. But on with our last workshop tune. Now, the tune we're going to learn today is actually one of my own compositions. You may remember around a year ago today I started harping on, as it is, about a crowdfunder project for an album that I was doing with the Manx Gaelic singer Ruth Kegan. Well, it has been going really well. We finished tracking the other week and we're actually like 2/3 of the way through mixing the album. So we were mixing it on Thursday and Friday, and today's Saturday. We've got a day off today. And the mixing engineer Andrea is back in tomorrow, and I'm going to go and join him for the last couple of hours. So it's really exciting. It is nearly there. Mixing and then mastering. We also need to have an album name. Oh my goodness, that's just another stress of something that we need to think of. But as part of the crowdfunder, to help raise money to be able to make it possible that we're able to do the album and record it, one of the rewards was a tune for you, as it was called, that I would write a tune for somebody. And I got in touch recently with one of the folk who decided to purchase that reward, and she was a woman called Karin, and she said that she wanted to have a tune that she could play herself. She's not been playing for that long. Her daughter also plays violin or fiddle, and they wanted something that they might potentially be able to play together, and that she's been particularly drawn to the slower tunes at Harp at Home, the kind of more reflective ones. And I kind of came up with this tune and it just really kind of spoke to me about what she was saying, about having something that's kind of reflective, sometimes kind of moody and sad, but sometimes happy. And so I chose to write her tune in the Mixolydian mode, and I finished it the other day and I sent it off to her, and she sent a message back saying that she really liked it, and that it kind of, she felt that it had a story attached to it, and the kind of words calm and carry, that idea of kind of keeping in calm but like carrying on with it. And it's quite something that she said that, because at the time that I was arranging it, so I'd written the melody. When I write tunes, I tend to kind of do little bits. I use my phone a lot. I use a voice memo, so I'm constantly recording little bits of it. just press and record. If you look at my voice memos, there's just loads of little tiny bits of tunes. So I'd had the tune, and then I came back, and then just the other day I was sitting kind of arranging it. But it was a really stressful day. There was a lot going on. I've had some friends who've had COVID, and just everything's getting a little bit close with COVID to the wedding. It's like I kind of feel that we're kind of dodging bullets all the time, with people who might be able to make it, can't make it, and then ourselves being potential close contacts of people who've tested positive. It's all very stressful. And I was kind of having hassle with that. Also a little bit of hassle with my American visa at the time, which was freaking me out, but not really, because I know it's all going to be okay. And also I'd had the realisation that I wouldn't have my British passport back in time for the registrar check for the actual wedding. It's looking like it's going to arrive back after Wednesday, and I'm meant to go to the council with my passport so they can check who I am, and it's got to be that passport. So I was like, oh no, this is awful. But again, I have a solution. They said they should be able to accept my parents' birth certificates, which I've got now. So, but you know, just that thing where you've got all those things kind of going on, and you know there's a solution and that it will be okay, but you just have to kind of sit sometimes and just kind of go, it will be okay. So I sat and just was just like, oh, my harp's here, I'm going to work on this tune. And it really did chill me out. It really did calm me down. And afterwards I actually sat down after I arranged the tune, and I was like, okay, I'm going to take a breath. And I took a notepad and I wrote all the kind of things that were stressing me out, with the problem and what the solution was. Not the solution about, but the kind of like, it's going to be okay because of this. And it really did calm me down, the kind of process of kind of writing the arrangement and then kind of going, okay, I'm calm now, I can sort this out by doing that. So yeah, so weirdly, Karin, you've kind of chilled me out by getting me to write this tune for you. So yeah, I asked her if she would mind it being the final tune that we learn for Harp at Home. So this is tune for Karin, and I'm going to play it to you now in front of this fireplace. It's a very gentle tune. It's one about hope, I kind of feel, and hopefully it will calm you down, and it's quite reflective and just, yeah, a hopeful tune. So let's head over to the green screen and we'll learn it together. It's our last time in front of the green screen for Series 4 of Harp at Home. It's been Harp at Home on the road, and as I've been telling you, we're definitely on the road today because I'm at my folks' house. Mackie, the wee dog, is currently curled up in the sofa. Not quite snowing, but we've just got a hope that we get through this, learning this beautiful tune without him either snoring or deciding that he wants to play with one of his toys. So we shall see how we get on. Hopefully we'll make it. But let's have a go at this waltz. It's a two-part tune. The first part isn't repeated, but the second part is repeated. So it ends up that each part is the same length, 16 bars, but your first part, I guess you could say, is double the length of your second part. Now, it's in the Mixolydian mode of G, which means it's almost like it's G major, but we flattened the 7th, which means instead of F sharp, which you would have if you're in G major, you're going to be F natural, and that makes it the Mixolydian mode starting on G. Nice Scottish sounding mode. We've done a number of tunes in the Mixolydian mode, and it's one that I particularly like. That means for your harp, if like me, your harp's tuned to E flat, you need your E's, your A's, and your B levers engaged. If your harp is tuned to C major, well, you're fine and dandy, you're good to go. So I'm going to play you the first part of the tune, and then we'll split it into phrases and sections, and we'll give it a go. Have a listen. Okay, so our first little bit, we're only going to be using the white notes for our very little kind of first part. So we're going to divide this into 4 phrases, but each of these 4 phrases we're going to kind of like subdivide into other 2 phrases. So our first little bit of our first phrase goes like this. So we're going to start off 3, 2, 1, going up G, A, B. Now visually you're going to play up these, then you're going to cross under and you're going to play the next 2 white notes. So we're going to go up G, A, B, then we're going to cross under with our second and our thumb to D, E, D. Okay, let's give it a go. I'm going to count to 2. This tune is in 3, 4, but we have the G and A are upbeats. So that means I'm going to be counting to 2 and they go in 3 and 1. And our first beat of the bar, first beat of the actual tune is that B there with our thumb. After 2, let's give it a go. 1, 2. Cross under. E, D. 2, 3. Good. Let's give it another go. 1, 2. Nice. One more time. 1, 2. Excellent work. Have a listen to the kind of second part of that phrase. We're going to go an octave above, and we're actually going to start in the same 3 notes that we did, but an octave above, so G, A, and B. And it's going to sound like this. So again, we're just playing off the white notes. The pentatonic scale in G uses 5 notes, G, A, B, D, E. The word pent means 5. And G, A, B, D, E are all handily enough white notes. So that's what we're doing. We're 3, 2, 1 now, up G, A, B. Same position that you had, but an octave above. We're going to play up and then down. Cross down over to the E and D. And we're going to play our E twice. And finish off playing with the D. So it's going 1 and 2 and 3 and 1, 2. Let's give it a go after 3. 1, 2, 3. E, E, D. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Brilliant. Let's connect it up to our first bit. And that will mean we've got our first phrase. After 2, remember we've got lead in, our count in is 2. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3 up top. Good. One more time. After 2. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Excellent work. Our second phrase now starts off in the same pattern. Okay, so our first 3 phrases actually are going to all start with that. So loads of repetition in this tune. Let's give that a go. After 2. Up G, A, B, crossing under to D, E, D. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Nice. Have a listen to the second part of that second phrase. This is where we're going to hit our first coloured note, and it's right in with that mixolydian flattened 7th, truly Scottish sound. Have a listen. Thumb on F, E, D, and C. So 4 down in a row. We're going to go F, 2, then run down them, and then the D at the end. So F, 2, and 3, and a D, 2. Let's give it a go together. After 3. 1, 2, 3. 2. 2. Nice. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Finishing off with the D, and you're pleasing your thumb for that D. Nice, let's put the beginning of that. Okay, and that will be our second phrase. After 2. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, down from F. And finish on D. Nice, one more time. Up G, A, B. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Excellent. Okay, so you've done your first phrase, you've done your second phrase. Guess what? Third phrase is the same as the first. We've got a good repetition tune, a kind of nice straightforward one for us to finish off this series. Remember our first phrase started like that, and then you jumped up the octave. Yeah? Let's give it a go. Let's try that third phrase, which is exactly the same as the first. After 2. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, up the octave. 2 E's and a D. Nice. Okay, let's see if we can do phrases 1, 2, and 3 then. One thing to watch out with is after the gap between phrases 1 and 2. Have a listen. You're going up here. You need to get quite fast in to our second phrase. Okay, let's have a go. Phrases 1, 2, and 3. After 2. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. And again. 1, 2, 3 from F. 1, 2. Up again. 2, 3. Excellent, good work. Now remember, you can pause, rewind if you need to. You know the score at Harp at Home. I'm sure the last workshop of series 4, you'll know what the deal is. Okay, we're on our fourth and final phrase of this first part of this tune. Have a listen. It's got to be familiar. Okay, it's actually starting off with the bit that's up the octave. Okay, you know this already, so we're going to play that phrase again. Up G, A, B, or the second part of that phrase. Okay, let's give it a go after 3, 2, 3. 2, 3, excellent. Have a listen to the kind of ending bit of the whole of this part. 1, 2, 3, 4, down 4 from the C. We're going to play down those and then move our thumb to the D and play the D. Let's give it a go if you fancy, or if you just want to listen for the second to hear the rhythm, that's okay. 1, 2, 3. Let's give it a go again. 1, 2, 3. One more time for good luck in case you want to give it a go. 2, 3. Okie dokie. So the whole of that ending phrase, you're up there. 2, 3, then down from C and the D. Okay, let's give it a go. After 3, our fourth phrase. 2, 3. Down from C. Nice, one more time. 1, 2, 3. Down from C. Coolaboola. Excellent. So that's all of your first part. First phrase, remember. And then your bit up here, which you'll be very familiar. Second phrase, straight in. Actually, sorry, I kind of took my time there. Your mixolydian bit, F, and coming down, finishing D, then in again. Then that bit again. 2, 3, and down from C. Cool. Well, we give it a go. Let's have a go, folks. After 3. After 2. Not after 3. Goodness me. After 2. After 2. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Straight in. 2, 3 from F. Good. 2, 3, up we go. Stay up there. Down 4 from C. Cool, lovely. Will we go for it again? After 3. What? After 2. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry, folks. It's been a long day. I've been teaching on Zoom all day, so that is my excuse. After 2. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. Down from C. Excellent. Okay, have a listen. I'm going to play you the second part. So the second part is half the length, but you do repeat it. So I'm just going to play it to you the once now. This is familiar. Okay, so nice little sequences in this. There's nothing too tricky here as well, but it is lovely. I really like how it goes down to that Mixolydian sound with the F natural. 3, 2, 1 on F, G, and A. We're going to go up and then down with a long F at the start. Have a listen. I'm going to count it, and I'll count as I'm playing it as well. After 3, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3 and A. 1, 2, and 3 and A. Okay, let's give it a go together after 3. I'll count the full 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3 and A. Then play a G for 3. G, 2, 3. Great, that's your first phrase. So we're going up and down and G. Up from F and down from A. Yeah, up from F and back down again, and then the G. After 3. 1, 2, 3. Nice, one more time after 3. 1, 2, 3. Lovely, so that's your first phrase. Our second phrase, we're now going to do the same pattern but going up from the A. Have a listen. Okay, so A, B, C, B, A, 3, 2, 1. And again, only one thumb at the top. Replacing your fingers as you're turning and coming back down. After 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Again after 3. 1, 2, 3. Lovely. Our second bit of this, again, we're just going to use the white notes, but we're going to change the fingering slightly to what you might think you were doing if you were looking at it in isolation. And this is because we're thinking ahead about what comes in our third phrase. Have a listen to the notes. So I'm going to put my second in the E and my thumb in, and my second in the D, sorry, and my thumb in the E. We're going to be playing D, E, D, and then down 3's 3. Now you might be tempted to go 2 and then 3. But the third phrase is going to be back down to the F. So instead of having 3 there, because that would mean I'd have to hop my third finger, instead I'm going to have 3 at the top here and cross over. So I'm 1, 2, and then my third finger can land on the F. So this is all about kind of looking ahead or working out your fingering, not only just in that little phrase and those measures and those bars, but looking ahead about what's happening in the fingering so you can flow onto that neatly. Have a listen to that. I'm going to count to 3, 2, 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and my third finger is ready on the F. So we've got D, E, D, B, crossover, thumb and A and second G. Let's give it a go after 3, 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and let's give it a go with the A with that before it. You ready? After 3. 1, 2, 3. why not? 1, 2, 3. Nice. Let's add on the first phrase before that, remember? Yeah, then we're going on to that. And I want you to see if you can actually do the third phrase as well, because what will happen, pop your third onto the F and you're going to go straight into the third phrase, which is the same as the first. You ready? We've nearly done this second part already. After 3. 1, 2, 3. G, 2, 3 from A. Up from F. 2, 3. Lovely. Guess what your fourth phrase is? It's the same as it was in your the same ending as you had for your first part of the tune. The bit that goes down 4 from C and the D. Yeah, do you remember that? Let's give it a go. 1, 2, 3. Brilliant. You know, you've done the whole tune already, poets. That's really good work. Let's see if we can get all of that second part. You ready? Remember, if you're getting confused, pause, rewind, look back and rewatch and refresh your memory of it. Up from F and back down, and then the G for that first phrase. 1, 2, 3. G, 2, 3 up from A. A, G, F. G, 2, 3 down 4 from C. Okay, good. It goes through twice, so let's try it twice together. 1, 2, 3. G, 2, 3 up from A. G, 2, 3 down from 4 from C. D, 2 and again. F. 2, 3, A. Down 4 from C. Nice one. Cool. You've done all of the melody. Not bad for like 20 minutes work. Will we go from the start and see? Yeah, what happens? Hopefully you'll get it. Pause and rewind if you need to. You know the score. After 2, all the white notes, remember. I'll describe it as we're going along. 1, 2, up we go. 1, 2, 3 up the octave. 2 E's straight in. 1, 2, 3 down from F. 1, 2, then again. 1, 2, 3 up we go. 2, 3 up the octave again, that same bit. 2 E's. Down 4 from C. And D, second part, F. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3 from 4 from C. 2, 3, F. 1, 2, 3, A. 2, 3 from C. Cool, good work. Alrighty, so let's get straight on to the left hand. I'm going to play you the first part with the left hand. We've got some big chords and also some kind of familiar chord shapes as well. There's nothing too kind of major here. Have a listen. Okay, so we're starting off. Let's work out the left hand actually for this bit. The starting part of each of the first phrase, second phrase and third phrase. What we're going to have is a G158. You're all familiar with that by now. G, D and G. 4, 2, 1 on G, D and G. We're going to go up that. And then I'm going to cross my third under. Okay, to A. Put my second on B. And my thumb on D. So again, I'm keeping that to all white notes to be honest. Going to play the A. Then play that B and D, the B third together. So it's going to go 1 and 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's play that chord together. After 3. 1, 2, 3. 1 and 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Good. So let's work out how that fits in with. Okay, these first two notes, as I told you earlier, are pick-up notes. So our G chord is going to start when we play that thumb. We're going to start it, play the D of the chord by itself, and then the G is going to come with the D in the melody. Okay, let's just get that bit going together first. So just the G part of the chord. After 2. 1, 2. Together, left, together. After 2 again. 1, 2. Good, so now we need to put the A, B and D in. Have a listen to how that will work. The A is going to come by itself. Then you're going to have the top E with your right hand. Then all of them together. So the B and D bit matches up with the D of your melody. I'll take you through that again. We've got the G chord, A by itself, right hand note, and then together. Let's give it a go nice and slowly together. 1, 2. Whoa, I did that wrong, didn't I? Okay, let me do that again. 1, 2. There we have it. Sorry about that, folks. Yeah, as I said, a long day teaching on Zoom. I think you'll forgive me. I don't make that many mistakes in these workshops. After 2 again. 1, 2. Excellent. Okay. That goes, remember, at the start of the first phrase, second phrase, and third phrase. So let's see if we can just fit that in actually. Okay? Going to play first phrase, second phrase, and third phrase, and fit that in if you can. After 2, the first part. 1, 2. 2, 3. Then we don't know this left hand. Here we go again. 2, 3. Then. There it goes again. Stop there. Good, okay, so you had 3 chances to get it right there. Hopefully you managed to get one of them at least. Let's work on the rest of that first phrase, which is the bit that goes up. Have a listen to what we're going to do with our left hand. Okay, we're going to have a G extended. Again, you should be familiar with this chord pattern if you've been taking these harp at home workshops for a while. G, D, G. We're going to go up. Crossing under, adding on the A and B. Okay, it's going to sound like this. Okay, so it's going to match up with those, then going up and down. There. Together, 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 together. Then you've got your thumb on the E, E, D. So all those 5 notes, note to note, goes like that. Okay, after 3, give it a go. 2, 3. One more time. 2, 3. Okay, I'm going to add in something else. I'm going to add in a harmony of a C and B here. left hand to the thumb on the C, second on the B, okay? C and B. And that's going to go with the second E, a nice harmony of a third, and then with the D. See if you can add it in after 3, 2, 3. C, B. One more time. 2, 3. Good. And that left hand is going to happen every time you play that. So that means it happens at the kind of second bit of the first phrase, second bit of the third phrase, and at the start of the fourth phrase, because that's repeated. Cool. That, by doing those 2 bits, you've done a huge kind of big bit of the left hand there, folks. Let's see if we can play all of the first bit, first part of the tune, and fill in the gaps with what you know with the left hand. Okay? Big G chord. At the start. Are you ready? After 2. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 2, in. Nice. 1, 2. 2, 3. We do that bit again. And then we have this bit. Nice, okay. So you've done, well, there's only actually 2 little bits that you need to fill in the gaps with. The second phrase. This bit when we're coming down from the F with the mixolydian. Okay, to very straightforward, we're simply going to do an F158, FCF, and then a D158, so DAD. So FCF, 2, 3, and DAD. Nice. The F is going to come to the whole of the first F. Let's give that a go. So it's going to all of that first F. 2, 3. And our D, nice and straightforward, goes with the D. Let's give that a go. See if you can add in the D as well. 1, 2, 3. D. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Brilliant. Let's add that in. We'll go from the start. We've only got the end now to do. You ready? All of the first part. 1, 2. 2, 3. Harmony C, B. F chord at the first F. And D. 2, 3. Up top again. Harmony. Up top. And then we come down from C. Okay, so we need to work out that part of the left hand. Down 4 from C. And a D. And I've kept it super straightforward, folks, again. C158 with a C. Flowing up. Then a D158, but we're going to brush it. So up C, G, C. And then brushing D, A, D. C with a C. And D with a D. You ready? Let's give it a go. 2, 3. Nice. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Cool. Excellent work. We've done all of the first part left hand. Let's play it together, and then afterwards I'm going to play on to the second part left hand, and if you want to join in the final phrase of that, well, it's the C chord and the D chord, you know it already. Let's go. Big G chord after 2. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Harmony, good. 1, 2, 3, F. And D. Oh, sorry. this into sections now. So remember we have our... Okay, we're going to start off with an F chord. And we're going to fall back in it. So an F, C, F, F158. Nice and low. We're going to play up. But we're going to return back and play our middle note. So 1 and 2, 3. Give it a go after 3. 1, 2, 3. 1 and 2, 3. Lovely. So that's going to match in with your first 3 notes. When you're playing up is going to go with a long F. Then the middle note, that C, is going to come when you play your top note, the thumb, the A. 1. Let's give that a go together, nice and slowly after 3. 1, 2, 3. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Nice. Now we're going to play the big G chord that we had at the start, but it's going to be a slightly different rhythm. Same notes, but we're going to just continue all the way up. We're not going to pause like that. We're just going to go 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, so all quavers, all 8th notes, going with that G. Give it a go. 1, 2, 3. G and 2, A, B and D. Okay, so that was your G158, G, D, G. Turning under, 3rd and A, 2 and 1 and B and D. Play that A, and then the B and the D together. Let's play that with that G. 2, 3. Nice. So, let's put that together. F chord and the G chord. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now that is the start of the first phrase. Our second phrase is going to use the same F chord but an octave above. So our second phrase, remember, starts going up from the A. Same way, an octave above. So the first F chord is going to go with that long note at the start. Then the middle note is going to be C matching up with C actually. Let's give that a go. 1, 2, 3. Cool, one more time. 1, 2, 3. Excellent. Have a listen to it. We're going to have a little sneaky bit of syncopation. I like this bit. We've got a G octave and an E octave. Okay, I'm using my flat hand to damp between. We've done a lot of talking about that in these workshops as well. Have a listen how it's going to go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and it's going to go with the D, which is on the 1 and 2, the and after 2, and then A, G. I'm going to count to 3. See how you get on. 2, 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and so G with the D, E with the B. 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and let's add the F chord on before. 1, 2, 3. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Good work. Let's do our first phrase and our second phrase. So we've got F chord, then playing straight up that big G chord. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Higher F chord, syncopated octaves G and E and. Good. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Let's move on to a third phrase. Sorry, I'm laughing. You can see the dog's woken up and is giving me the eye and is kind of licking his lips. I don't know why. I did feed him. Didn't give him his dentist stick though, because I couldn't find where they were in the house. Like he's still being quiet. I think he's shutting his eyes again. Third phrase, okay? Third phrase, remember, is the same. Melody is the first phrase. We're going to change the first chord, okay? Instead of doing an F chord, we're actually going to have a D chord. Nice little kind of colouring there. Have a listen. And then the G as before. So that means your D part comes with the F when you're going up it. When you play the middle note again, A with the A. And then your big G chord. Like that. Give it a go. This is your third phrase. 1, 2, 3. Nice. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Excellent. Okay, so we've done our first phrase, we've done our second phrase, we've done our third phrase. Our fourth phrase is the same as it was when we played our first part. We had a C chord and then a brush D with the D. Let's give that a go. 1, 2, 3. Good. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Good. Lovely. Let's see if we can do all of that. So you started off, remember, quick recap. F chord, falling back on itself, then big G chord. Next bit was an F chord, but up the octave. You had your syncopated G and E's, octaves, then D, big G chord, then C. Okay, we'll give it a go, twice through, see what happens. After 2. 1, 2, 3. Up the octave, syncopated octaves, D, C, 2, 3, and again. G and E, good. Big G chord. C. Good. And if you were finishing, I personally would play the F and then just brushing a G chord. Okay, cool, folks. Will we try and see if we can do all of the tune? Yeah? Sorry, I can see the dog is now yawning and looking at me and his ears is pricked up. Let's see if we can play the whole arrangement before he jumps off that seat. Oh, head is up. Oh, no, I don't think he's gonna move. I think we're safe. Okay, let's go while we can. Yeah? After 2. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Up top. Harmony with C, B, straight in. 2, 3. Nice. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. 2, 3, C. Brush D. Second part and F, G. Nice work, well done. Okay, let's head back to the other fireplace and you can give it a go playing it along with me. And of course, remember to tune in for what will be the final blether section of this series 4 of Harp at Home. folks, welcome to the blether section. Blether section in front of a real fire, well, a gas fire. It's kind of real. I mean, it gives out heat, although not the best heat, I have to say. But I hope you're all doing well. I've got my cup of tea. I hope you enjoyed learning that tune. I'm planning on teaching it quite a lot. It fits well on the harp, and I think it really does sound really nice and reflective and hopeful on the harp. Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing it more and to teaching it more. So yes, blether section, the final blether section of series 4. And folks, I just have to say, a huge thank you to all of you for taking part again in Harp at Home. It's been great to see your messages, to see all the orders flying in for the downloads and for the additional little donations. Honestly, it's really made me smile, and it's really kind of spurred me on to keep on doing this, and I'm so grateful to you all, and of course to Tasca for helping fund it. And I'm also actually grateful too to Sam Hurt, who's done quite a bit of the filming for this series. Sam is a pal from the Isle of Man who's settled in Scotland now, and he's just really great to work with, because I kind of feel he's from my kind of Isle of Man life, but he's really part of like the folk scene here in Scotland, which is really cool. He's like managed to get a really good career for himself here, and he's also become very involved in the Harp Festival. He is a person who edited the virtual Harp Festival last year, and this year he's going to be in charge of the filming at this year's in-person hybrid festival. We talked a little bit about it with Isobel Mieras there. It is on sale, the box office is open, and wow, we're really chuffed with how sales are going. So we have, we're going hybrid, and the reason we're going hybrid is because we are an international festival, and we're really just aware that a lot of folk who are international or who live abroad can't really travel to the UK yet, or don't feel totally comfortable booking flights to come to the UK. And there's also folk here in Scotland who just aren't quite at that kind of point where they want to be in kind of with lots of other folk in the same room. So that's why we're doing our hybrid thing, just to kind of let you know what's happening. Many of you will know that I'm very involved in the festival. And the volunteer who does all the media and marketing. So I do all the Facebook and newsletters and things. There might be not so many in the next couple of weeks because of the wedding, but I normally do that. And so we are going to be back in person as normal as it is. So we're really we are focusing on the in-person festival because that's what the festival is. It's about being together with other harpists and being, present, enjoying concerts, learning together, etc. And so we're going to be having our normal concerts, okay, over 4 nights and 3 days, shorter than our normal in-person festival, at a new venue though, George Watson's College. Brilliant place, a little bit closer to town, which is good, which means it's closer to some accommodation places and to restaurants and cafes. So yeah, we have our normal concert series, we have our normal workshops, we have our normal courses, okay, but the hybrid element of that, just to explain, we are filming all our concerts. We're not live streaming them, we're recording them as live, and that's actually what Sam's going to be doing. He has, I think, got a vision mixer where they kind of live mix it all. So he'll be recording it live, and then it will go out soon after. I'm not going to tell you when, we haven't actually worked out exactly when we're going to be able to get it online, but it will be as soon as possible after the actual main concert. So you'll see them as they happened, okay? They're not going to be big edits or anything, it's going to be as it was live. We're also filming our workshops, okay? So workshops as they're happening. So for both the concerts and the live workshops, you can buy your on-demand online ticket. And when we use the word on-demand, we're just meaning you can watch it again and again. It's not live streamed and that's it. It'll be online, it'll appear in your, I think they're calling it a wallet, from what I understand with Red 61. It will appear and you'll be able to watch it. So those are that's how we're working the online concerts and workshops. So you're enjoying it as if you're at the festival, essentially. We're also got our courses, they're Zoom courses. Now, a really important thing to note about those is that when you're on a Zoom course, it's only a Zoom course. There will likely be an in-person version of that course, but it will already have happened earlier in the day. And the reason that we're keeping them separate is so that it's like you're getting the best view. Do you know what I mean? Because if you're like kind of watching an in-person workshop, you wouldn't necessarily be able to have like the camera right at the harp, because that would block the in-person views. So it's really just keeping everybody satisfied that if you're in a Zoom workshop, it's only Zoom people, so everyone has the same experience. If you're in an in-person course, sorry, I'm talking about courses, it'll only be in-person courses, people there won't be Zoom participants as well. So yeah, that's the deal. Our Zoom courses and in-person courses are capped at 15 people, like they were last year and like they always have, to be honest, at the Harp Festival. We're not recording our Zoom courses. I know a lot of folk have been saying, oh, please record them. What's the reason we're not recording them is because we physically can't handle the amount of recordings there would be. We'd have to get all those, like, we have so many courses. We'd have to email all those links, get all those links, email them to everybody. And the folks that would have to do that would be me and Callum McLeod. Callum, who's our tape manager, is worrying about all the concerts and the workshops and the Zoom things. I'm teaching twice at the festival and trying to do all the marketing and media. So we've got, like, we just can't do it. We couldn't do it last year and we really can't do it this year because we're trying to run an in-person festival as well. We're going to be run ragged. And we don't know how good the internet is going to be at the school for us for those kind of uploading things. It might be like uploading our concerts and workshops. I think we're going to have to possibly go elsewhere for that, which is possible. But yeah, it would just be one extra kind of thing that we'd have to do with the Zoom courses, and we can't do it because we're kind of doing everything else. But please join us. We've got some amazing tutors and performers. Maeve Gilchrist is performing a really special piece that was written last year for the joint 40th festival and 90th anniversary of the Clarsach Society. Yes, and then Karina Hewitt has her piece that was written for the, I want to say, 30th anniversary of the festival. That's kind of getting rejigged and put on again. We have Cormac de Barra from Ireland is playing and teaching for us. We have Ben Crichton-Griffiths, amazing jazz harpist, performing and teaching. Who else do we have? Verna Stevenson, which is pretty epic. She's playing and teaching for us. I should know this programme off by heart. I should be able to tell you all these things, but I can't off the top of my head today. Tristan Lagovich from Brittany. Yes, he's one of my best pals in the harp world. I'm so excited to see him. It's been a few years since I've seen him, so can't wait for that. It's going to be really good. So if you can be there in person, fantastic. But join us online. It'd be amazing to see you. So that's the plan with the Harp Festival. So I'm kind of taking 2 weeks off doing Harp Festival stuff from Monday because I'm getting married. So I'm meant to finish doing stuff on Monday. I know I'm going to be doing Facebook uploads still on Monday, I think. Because tomorrow I have to Zoom teach here and then I have to go to the studio and do stuff. Finish mixing the album and then go back home. And yeah, I'm really into lists just now to make sure I do everything. We're so close to getting everything finished for the wedding. Like, really everything needs to kind of be sorted by Monday night, I think, because Tuesday's my last day when I'm doing a little bit of in-person teaching with masks on. I'm just like taking all the precautions. I might even move online, to be honest. I don't know, I'll see how it goes. Then Wednesday is when families start arriving. Adam's family from the Isle of Man. Wednesday I'm getting my nails done. We're getting our registration document. Hopefully they'll let me get it because of the passport issue. What else are we doing on Wednesday? There's something else. Getting the cake. Need to remember to get the cake. And the bridesmaid dresses. I was meant to get the bridesmaid dresses yesterday. Failed on that. And forgot to tell the bride shop that I wasn't going to come. Because there was a big storm here this weekend. Called Storm Eunice yesterday. And it was threatened to hit. It hit England with lots of wind. Like insane wind. It was threatened to hit Scotland with lots of snow. And I thought I was going to be in the studio and travelling through here at around 3 o'clock and was like, that's not going to work with snow because my folks live at the bottom of a big hill. I was like, that's going to be a nightmare. So I decided to drive through here very late on Thursday night and I was meant to pick the dresses up at 2 o'clock yesterday. So yeah, I came through here to avoid the snow. Turned out it didn't really snow. It kind of snowed a bit and then it just melted immediately, honestly. Sorry, excuse for snow here in Stirling, I have to say. Further up north it was grand. But I forgot to tell the bride shop. But I emailed them and they got back to me today, so it's fine. So I need to pick up those on Wednesday. I need to pick up the rings. My engagement ring has been getting cleaned, which is why I'm not wearing it. And got to pick up the wedding rings. Wedding rings, engagement ring, bridesmaid dress, the cake. We need to finish doing our dividing up our place settings. It's really cool. What we've done is, I'm looking around to see if there's one, but there's not, I don't think. There's a beach just north of where I was born in Ullapool called Ardmere Beach that has really flat stones. So we actually have lots of flat stones from Ardmere Beach that we've written people's name on, and that's going to be their place settings. So that's pretty cool. And then our centerpieces are gin bottles, which is no surprise because I really like my gin. So we need to finish putting the names of stuff on them. And I'm going to tell you guys what the table names are. Again, nobody else knows this stuff, but I figured I don't think any of you are going to be at the wedding, so I might as well tell you. We've chosen to name our tables after kind of albums and stuff. So we have various names related to people who are sitting at those tables. So like Adam's got a lot of his uni friends that he was played with in orchestra. So he's got like one called like Mahler Symphony Number blah blah. Is there one? His sister's really into musicals and is in Sweeney Todd in a few weeks. So she's got the Sweeney Todd album. Our pals from Emer, we've called them Moving Hearts after the seminal Irish band Moving Hearts. My family from Ireland, from the north, are called the Belfast Harp Orchestra album Carlin, because they bought me that when I was really wee and because they're all from near Belfast. What else? My uni pals are the Batshit Boys because, well, I used to be a big fan, still kind of am. So we've had lots of fun sorting out the names of that, so that's been good crack. So we need to kind of stick those all together. But we're nearly there. Need to start just getting sorted for, yeah, we still don't know if we're going to be on honeymoon. I need the American visa and passport back with me, because I need to be in to get that because they do an ID check, so we can't really go away anywhere until that's with us. But we're feeling fine about it. I think we're just going to take it easy and then save our pennies a little bit more and then go on a bigger honeymoon in a few months' time when it's a little bit warmer as well. And yeah, it should be good. So thank you again. I was hoping he was going to come. Mackie, come down here. Mackie. I'm going to get the dog. I'm at my folks' house. And Mackie, the Karin Terrier, is here. He's very cute. Hang on a second. Mackie. Come on. Come on. Here he is. He's very cute. He's probably just good. I don't know if you can see him. Come here. Right. Look. Can you see the camera? He's like, yeah, not fussed at all. He's been sitting, fair play, he's been sitting all day today on the armchair as I've been teaching to the Isle Man. He's very cuddly. Look, he's sitting here very good, aren't you? Yeah, he's not been getting many cuddles because I've been stuck on Zoom. I finished and he kind of jumped up onto the stool that I was sitting on. So this is Mackie, the Karin Terrier. He's a rescue dog. Yes, you are. Don't let me, please. He was actually at my brother and sister-in-law's because my mum and dad are away. But they have a dog called Rolly, who's a cockapoo, who is a bit of a handful. And the pair of them get on, but they've been really arguing and they kind of been play fighting a lot today. And I think it was driving my sister-in-law and brother up the wall, the pair of them, combined with my niece and nephew. So, yeah, I was like, well, why don't you I just take Mackie back. So, yeah, I'm going to throw this to him. You go? You ready? In you go. Not fussed. He's just going to shake himself instead on Mackie. Come here. Yeah, you like meeting all these people, don't you? You like meeting all these people. So, yeah, he's a very cuddly dog. He's not got any tunes written after him, actually. Might need to sort that at some point. But yeah, so thank you folks for tuning in. Thank you for putting up with my blethers. Don't drink my tea. Sorry, he's going for my tea. He likes tea, don't you? I can see that you want the tea. Sorry. Thank you for putting up with my blethers. I hope you've enjoyed the tunes that you've been learning this series, and I really hope that you've enjoyed all the people that we've been meeting. Remember, as ever, on the PDF and in the description of the YouTube video, there's always a link to stuff. So there'll be links today to the Harp Festival and actually to Sam Hurt's work. Sorry, just seeing the dog's like going under the tripod. He nearly knocked it over there. That could have been something. So do take the time to discover what's going on at the Harp Festival. It would be amazing to have you there. Aye. And I'm never going to say never. This is the last workshop. Sorry, the dog's gone under a tripod again. This is the last workshop of Series 4. I might be back at some point. But let's kind of hope it's not for a while, because, well, this is all kind of started because of what was going on in the pandemic, and it really has kept me going, and I kind of almost feel so much closer to a lot of you than I ever would if we hadn't had this. Online life has kind of brought the harp world together, I feel. We're a really good harp world. I feel very lucky to be part of it, and to have you all been part of it, and to have you here as Harp at Home. I might be back at some point, but I don't think for at least a good while. I will let you know, of course. I am going to spend some time in a month or two putting together a chart about the levels of the tunes and things like that. I did that before, and someone messaged saying they found it really useful, so I need to work that out for Series 3 and for Series 4. So I'll let you know when that goes up. Do sign up to my mailing list still if you're not part of it, and I'll let you know. And yeah, I'll show you a picture of the wedding as well, because I have been blethering on about that. So thank you again, folks. Take good care of yourselves, and let's hope that the next time I meet you it really is in person and we can have a good harp tune and a blether together. Thank you and goodbye.